8:51, everybody, and a custody battle that ended with a double murder. That's how season 2 of Crime Nation kicks off tomorrow night. So here's a sneak peek for you.
Amber and Josh were just starting to really build their lives with 3 children.
They're shooting in Sodus.
More than one person shot.
Person shot the girl in the car.
We didn't know if we were safe.
Who would shoot Josh and Amber?
If it wasn't for this video, none of this would have ever happened.
They told me that he had a ballistic vest.
We are throwing you your only lifeline. Come clean.
Who just shoots a mother in the head.
Wow, a young couple killed in broad daylight. It triggers a nationwide manhunt. And Crime Nation takes us through the twists and turns of this case. Joining us this morning is Crime Nation contributor Laura Ingle, and she has more on what else we can expect from season 2. Good morning, Laura, and congratulations on a second season.
Thank you so much. We are all so excited. Good morning to you, Dan and Hazel. I mean, this is an incredible new season that kicks off tomorrow on the CW at 9 p.m. Eastern. And you heard it there in that clip, the case of Josh and Amber, who were gunned down in their driveway, broad daylight. And what's really tragic about this case is their young son was strapped into the back seat of the mother's car. And it happened in front of this child who was still holding on to his chicken McNuggets when it happened. And it all revolves around this child custody case, as often it does with these crime stories that we do cover. And we learn about the suspect, and it involves a Texas police chief. We hear for the first time, this is what's exclusive in this new season that premieres tomorrow on Crime Nation. We hear from family members that have never spoken before about this case, the ex-wife of this Texas police chief. And we hear from legal experts, we hear from law enforcement, and of course, our seasoned journalists who take part in covering these types of stories. And what makes it all so interesting, we're all with this true crime community that we're all so much a part of. We all want to help figure things out, right? We want to connect the dots. And that's what this series does with Crime Nation. It brings you in to the investigation so you can watch along and help figure it out for yourself and see where those dots are connected.
I mean, that is what is so great about Crime Nation. And also, just you're mentioning the fascination with true crime, right? These internet sleuths that kind of look at every little minute detail. And what you do so well, because I've watched some of the episodes from season 1, is you really peel back the layers. And they're like an onion in so many of these crime stories, right? So what other stories, Laura, can we look forward to in season 2?
Right. So this case of Josh and Amber happens tomorrow on the season premiere. The following week, we're going to take a deep dive into the Jennifer Dulos case. And I know you guys remember this because it happened in our region. This mother of 5, New Canaan, Connecticut, went missing in May of 2019. And there was this huge search for her, this very affluent family. And to this day, Jennifer Dulos has still not been found. A huge suspicion around the estranged husband, Fotis Dulos, and just before he took his own life, I had a chance to sit down and talk with him directly in his home. It was one of the wildest stories I've ever covered, and we have a clip of that in that episode, which is the next one the following Thursday. So I can't wait for you to join us for that as well, because that is a story that is still technically not solved. We know who did it, but we just don't know the end result. And you've got 5 children who are now without their mother and their father. It's so tragic, but there's still more questions that need to be answered. And we want to take people along with us for this story as well.
Yeah, these are cases that have not been forgotten. You still keep digging deep. Is Crime Nation breaking news then in these episodes?
Absolutely. Crime Nation is breaking news because we have new videos. And you know what's crazy is I watched some screeners of the first 3. There are pieces of video and images and interviews that I have never even seen. So this is an incredible team of journalists and producers and writers that have come together that take us down this path, and we work through it together with the viewer, which makes it so interesting, really compelling storytelling. And so you're going to hear, like with our premiere tomorrow with Josh and Amber, you're going to hear from the ex-wife of the police chief who's involved here for the very first time. It is her first television interview, and she shares text messages and emails that nobody has ever seen before. So we are breaking news, and you are going to hear and see things that you have never heard on some of these major true crime cases.
That's what's so amazing. It's really amazing that even years later, after some of these stories, that you still are able to uncover new elements of the story that we as journalists were really digging for in the first few weeks of those stories. Laura, great job. Thank you for stopping by this morning to talk about it. Great work that you guys are doing, and be sure to tune in to an all-new season of Crime Nation tomorrow night, 9 p.m., right here on PIX11. Thanks, Laura.